Top 20 largest and most populated cities in the world. The world's population is growing, but what is the biggest city in the world? Here are the largest and the most populated cities in the world. 2,000 years ago, there were a mere 170 million people living on Earth. The human race has been on an upward trajectory ever since, logging in at 7.7 billion people in 2019 and projected to reach 10 billion by the 22nd century. Our burgeoning population presents many challenges, according to the United Nations, especially as countries look to hit sustainability goals by 2030. Basically, the more humans there are on Earth, the more resources such as food, water, and the land we need, the more resources we take away from other species, and the more waste we generate. If you're new to this channel, welcome. Please do well to subscribe and turn on post notifications so you don't miss out on any of our subsequent videos. There is some good news. Population increases and slowly down, and in some countries and elsewhere, some populations are shrinking. Still, there are other places that are virtually bursting at the seams. We are looking at the 20 most populous metropolitan areas on the planet. Number 20. Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. Current population 13,458,075 people. Almost 5,400 people per square kilometer are packed into this urban area on Brazil's coast. It's one of the most popular travel destinations in South America, and yet over 20% of its residents live in impoverished conditions in almost 800 favelas, or so-called substandard districts around town. On the plus side though, population growth is slowing. In 2019, Rio de Janeiro was the 19th most populated city in the world. Number 19. Tianjin, China. Current population 13,589,078 people. The population of this 12,000 square kilometer port city in northeastern China expanded by a whopping 188% between the years of 1953 and 1982. Luckily, growth has slowed considerably since then. It expanded a mere 1.4% between 2019 and 2020, but is showing no signs of leveling off or even decreasing. Manufacturing is the largest industry in the city and accounts for its speedy and consistent growth. Oddly enough, China is also home to one of the cities you learned about in school that no longer exists. Number 18. Manila, Philippines. Current population 13,923,452 people. Although growth in the urban population of Manila has actually slowed down over the years as the surrounding suburbs have seen an uptick in residents, that doesn't mean the city is getting any less crowded. In fact, Manila is the world's most densely populated city with 111,002 people per square mile. Plus, with many poor migrants moving into Manila from rural areas, Manila's projected increasing growth rates are certain to put further strain on resources. It's strange to think that there are major cities in the world with millions of residents like Manila, but there are also very tiny countries you never knew existed. Number 17. Kinshasa, Democratic Republic of Congo. Current population 14,342,439 people. Kinshasa did not make the top 20 list in 2019, but rapidly jumped to 17th place. The capital city is growing quickly, with a 4.3% growth between 2019 and 2020. The 14.3 million number is even more incredible when you consider that in 1950, the population of this city was a mere 201,905 people. Kinshasa's population may seem enormous, but is nothing compared to the population of the entire world. Number 16. Lagos, Nigeria. Current population 14,368,332 people. This port city and the largest city in Africa originated on the islands of the protected Lagos Lagoon, but has since expanded some 50 plus kilometers inland and now encompasses about 452 square kilometers. Its diverse population is represented by about 250 groups, many of which have immigrated both from the Nigerian countryside and from the surrounding countries. The vast majority of residents, 66%, live in slum conditions. The economic differences between countries across the globe also mean that $1 will get you 50 different things around the world. Number 15. Kolkata, India. Current population 14,850,066 people. India 1.3 billion and China 1.4 billion are the two most populous countries in the world. So it should come as no surprise that India and Chinese cities rank as some of the most crowded. Kolkata, aka Calcutta, a former East Indian Company trading post, as well as the headquarters of Mother Teresa's Missionaries of Charity, is the third most inhabited metropolitan area in India. A trend that is slowly, but thanks to the increasing popularity of its suburbs, showing no signs of reversing anytime soon. No matter what size of your city is, we would be emulating the nicest city in America. Number 14. Buenos Aires, Argentina. Current population 15,153,729 people. Although the capital city of Argentina has only 3 million people living within its urban area and core, its wider 2,681 square kilometer region is home to the second largest population in South America. Although the suburbs of the greater metropolitan region have burgeoned over the last 70 years, the city center has remained pretty constant. Size-wise, a stagnant economy has meant that folks are more prone to move out from town than into it. The best cities that people move to usually have a strong economy, but the people living there actually define a city. Buenos Aires is also one of the world's 50 most beautiful cities, as ranked by travel experts. Number 13, Istanbul, Turkey. Current population 15,190,336 people. Istanbul, formerly Constantinople, ranks as the most populated city in all of Europe, although technically half of the city lies in Asia. The city's residents doubled their population in the 1980s when the parameters of its borders greatly expanded. It boasts the largest airport in the world, a lucky happenstance for one of the fastest growing metropolises. Number 12, Chongqing, China. Current population 15,872,179 people. Like many other cities in Asia, Chongqing has seen a big population spike, a hefty 3.3% since 2019. In fact, Chongqing is one of the fastest growing cities in the world, and as World Population Review points out, that's not fixing to change anytime soon. The city has another problem in addition to its rapid expansion. Its workforce is shrinking while its population ages, an odd and sobering fact to consider in conjunction with the total population of the Chongqing municipality, which currently stands at a staggering 33 million people. By contrast, these are the smallest towns in America by population. Number 11, Karachi, Pakistan. Current population 16,093,786 people. 1/5 of Pakistan's urban population resides in Pakistan's once capital megacity, according to a report by World Bank. While the number of its residents has soared up to 2.2% since 2019, its quality of life has been plummeting, with violent crime, inequality, and financial instability all contributing to developmental challenges. Karachi is also one of the world's densest cities. It has 24,000 people living here per square kilometer. If crowds this big make you uncomfortable, check out the best places to move in the US before they get too crowded. Number 10, Osaka, Japan. Current population 19,165,340 people. The number of people living in Japan's food-centric and third largest metropolitan area is actually decreasing. It dropped by 3% since 2019, but nearly 20,000 humans squeeze into the broader Kansai region, which includes the city of Osaka of 27,000 kilometers, which makes for some tight living quarters. And in fact, 7% of Japan's total population lives within an even smaller space in this region, in the city of Osaka proper and its 42 municipalities. Number 9, Mumbai, India. Current population 20,411,274 people. India's second largest metropolitan area has its largest in-city population with over 13 million at last official census count in 2011. Its trains alone carry 6 million people a day, a figure that puts almost every other busy city to shame. Mumbai's population has surged in the past 20 years, and in fact has doubled since 1991, as migrants from rural areas move to town looking for work. The practical realities of this flux are grim. Exports World Population Review, 41% of residents in Mumbai and its surrounding regions live in slums. If you're looking for a silver lining, Mumbai may still be growing, but the rate is slowing. In 2019, Mumbai was the 8th city on the list. Number 8, Beijing, China. Current population 20,462,610 people. China's second largest municipality has almost as many residents as the entire country of Australia, and the population has not only been rising at a steady speed clip since 1975, is projected to keep on rising all the way through 2035, according to the UN World Urbanization Prospects Report. One of the serious downsides to such a large population in an urban area, Beijing has some of the worst air for breathing, thanks to nearby polluting coal plants and to car traffic measuring 52 microns per cubic meter as reported by Reuters. Unfortunately, it's also one of the 11 major cities that are running out of water. Number 7, Cairo, Egypt. Current population 20,900,604 people. Egypt's capital city has been settled at least since the 4th century due to its important location on the Nile River. After plagues in the Middle Ages and city-destroying riots in the 1950s, it's since been growing at a rapid pace. Even its core city population is staggeringly high, 12 million as told by World Population Review. Alexandria, the second largest city in Egypt, is a mere 30% of Cairo's size. Of course, you don't have to travel quite that far to reach a city rich with history. Number 6. Dhaka, Bangladesh. Current population 21,005,860 people. Business Insider called Dhaka the most crowded city in the world in 2018, and it's only growing since then. With over 23,000 people per square kilometer and an incredible 2,000 people per day moving into Bangladesh's capital city, the reason for the influx, pure and simple, desperation. As climate change exasperated natural disasters wreak havoc on their hometowns and villages, not surprisingly then, 1/4 of Bangladeshis live below the poverty line, with an estimated 3 million people living in the slums of Dhaka alone. Number 5. Mexico City, Mexico. Current population 21,782,378 people. An economic powerhouse, Mexico City is also one of the most populous and densest cities in the world. In fact, 20% of the entire population of Mexico live in Mexico City. Surges in growth have meant that the city has had a hard time keeping up with necessary services for its residents like housing, but there is hope on that front. The population only grew by 0.5% from 2019 to 2020. Number 4. Sao Paulo, Brazil. Current population 22,043,028 people. The most populous city in the Americas with over 11 million people living in the city itself is a sophisticated, ethnically diverse world cultural center that is also, oddly, according to the Forbes, home to 26 billionaires. It's also a city of immigrants. 81% of students said that they were descendants of foreign immigrants, writes World Population Review of a recent survey by the University of Sao Paulo. This metropolitan area is projected to reach 23 million by 2030. Number 3. Shanghai, China. Current population 27,058,480 people. Shanghai is the largest city proper in the world and one of the fastest developing for 20 years, seeing double-digit growth nearly every year since 1992, with the exception of the global recession of 2008 to 2009, says World Population Review, and is still growing even though the pace of that growth is slowing. Experts predict its greater metropolitan regions will hit 50 million residents by 2050, which is sure to exacerbate all the problems that come with dense cities, like insufficient infrastructure and pollution. Shanghai is unlikely to make the United Nations list of good countries, those making a positive contribution to the world anytime soon. Number 2. Delhi, India. Current population 30,290,936 people. Delhi, India's capital and the center of its government, is second in population and takes the lead in the most populated cities in the world. It packs over 11,000 people into each of its 1,484 square kilometers, and is growing faster than almost any place else on earth. In 2001 alone, reports World Population Review, its population increased by 215,000 due to natural growth and 285,000 through migration. Its numbers increased this year by 3.03% over 2019, but is still on track to hit a population of over 43 million by 2035. Number 1. Tokyo, Japan. Current population 37,393,128 people. Believe it or not, the largest city in the world actually saw a population drop of 11% from 2019. That trend is expected to continue and to increase through 2035, so that 16 years from now, Tokyo will house almost 1.5 million fewer people than it does today. Needless to say that this is the kind of population trend that would benefit the rest of the cities on this list. Thanks for watching. If you did enjoy this video, please do well to hit the like button, drop a comment below, share with your friends and turn on post notifications so don't miss out on any of our subsequent videos.